Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm going to talk about what it means to have your Venus conjunct with someone's North Node in Synastry, or their Venus conjunct with your North Node. So this is a very important soul mate aspect. Now, that doesn't always necessarily mean this is going to be a long-term relationship. You would have to look at the entirety of the charts and if there is actual other compatibility there too, to discern that. But in my experience, this is definitely a significant connection. The North Node in our astrology chart shows where our soul is going. It shows a path of destiny, a point of fulfillment, but it's a little bit tricky in that it's always directly opposite our South Node, and the South Node is the point of comfort. It's what we're really natural at, what's really easy for us, where we're gifted. But if we solely stay there, we become stagnant. Now, Venus is our love nature. It's our heart. It's how we love. It's what we find pleasurable. It's what we value. So the Venus person is very soothing to the North Node person. Depending on where the North Node person is at with their North Node, maybe it could be less soothing, but usually because Venus is such a gentle planet, it's not like an aggressive planet like Sun or Mars. It can sometimes piss off the North Node person more when we have one of those planets conjunct our North Node. But when it's Venus, it's more gentle, it's more soothing. The Venus person can really feel, like almost like a drug to the North Node person. Like the Venus person just has what they need, but they just can't always figure out how to get it themselves. It's that, like, they have to do it, they want to do it, but they just can't always do it on their own. What the North Node can feel like. But with Venus's energy there, and by the Venus person just loving them and being themselves and expressing what it is that they value and their heart, the North Node person can feel so on track and so in love with the Venus person too. And the Venus person can really feel like the North Node person is this special person in their life too. Like there's some type of significance there. Either they can want to pursue them for some type of love relationship. Like there is a sense with this one that this is a fated connection. That this person is someone that can help us towards our destiny. And they really do have like what each other needs with this one, where specifically Venus is helping the North Node person towards their destiny. They're really, getting them going. And you have to look at, okay, so what is the sign that this conjunction is taking place, and what is the house that the North Node person's house is in? So that is the direct area of life and energetic expression that the Venus person is helping them with. So like with this conjunction taking place, let's say, so if it was my North Node, it would be the Venus person would have Venus at 5 degrees of Scorpio coming into my 7th house, with my North Node in Scorpio in my 7th house. So this would be someone helping me with, emotional intimacy and soulmate relationships, North Node in the 7th house, helping me grow through that, right? And then, think of someone else like having their North Node in Taurus in a different house, like maybe the 1st house, then, the Venus person would be helping them, get more grounded, get more tapped into their heart, and in the 1st house, learning more about who they really are, how to actually stand up for themselves more. So you can look at the sign in the house that the conjunction is taking place, because that's going to be a major theme of the entire relationship. Like when you have these conjunctions show major relationship themes, especially when the North Node is involved. These are like major destiny themes. So you want to really look at that and see what's being activated there. Now, like I said, this doesn't always have to be a long-term relationship. Like I was just talking about it with one of my good astrologer friends last night, actually, that, you know, the North Node, it's not always like meant to be, you know, like, and when I say meant to be, I mean meant to be forever, right? And it absolutely can be. Like, I'm not saying it can't be either, but that's not really what the North Node is about. The North Node isn't really concerned if this is going to have longevity. The North Node is concerned with, are you going to learn the lesson? Are you going to, you know, become the person that your destiny would need you to be, right? So that's what's more important, is like, if the lesson is learned. And sometimes, you know, you'll keep meeting people over and over and over again who all have their Venus on your North Node or something. And it's like, wait, am I trying to get something here? Am I like supposed to be learning something? And it depends on where you're at with your own North Node, right? But yeah, this is definitely a significant connection, and it can be a very loving and intimate connection as well, because there's something very sensitive about the North Node. Like, the North Node person can really feel like Venus is this really special person in their life that they really want to thank. They really just know, like, wow, like this is someone that is like a special soul helper for me. And also they can see the Venus person as someone who's very beautiful. And the reason they see them as so beautiful is because they are becoming more like that, you know, and they're learning to develop more of the energy of that sign. And the Venus person just so naturally loves like that, and it's very attractive. And then the Venus person, because Venus is also, especially in men, to what turns us on, what's kind of like the fantasy, right? And in women too, it's a lot to do with like the mental image of like what's hot and what's like, and Mars too, but Venus is also has sexual undertones and definitely romantic all the way. So the Venus person can really see the North Node person as someone who is hot or sexy, or like they have a lot of romantic feelings towards. And sometimes it can show up in a relationship that, you know, maybe we, you know, it's not meant to be an actual committed relationship. Like maybe it's just a situation where that can't happen, but nonetheless the feelings are there, and there's definitely a lot of learning and soul growth that can happen. And they both can have a lot of positive feelings for each other, a lot of loving feelings, and it can be very intimate and deep and loving. And yeah, even it could be very creative as well. Like when Venus is aspected by a strong conjunction, there can be a lot of creative energy in this couple as well. So like if it's a friendship too, there can be a lot of creative energy there. You can work on something creative or beautiful together. You really do with this one. You make each other feel more beautiful and more loving. And yeah, it's definitely a contract in some way of destiny. And, you know, at the soul level, like I said, it's not necessarily does this have to be the one and only, but it's definitely someone significant. And if it is the one and only, it's definitely a helpful aspect to have, where you both feel like this is fate or destiny, and there's a lot of loving feelings. More than some of the other North Node conjunctions, this one is very loving. So yeah, that's my interpretation of this aspect. I'd love to know your experience of this aspect. How was it? And, you know, you could have other things going on that would make this not so positive. I feel like I've described it in such a positive way, but like you could have like crazy Pluto squares or something that would make this love turn to hate, right? That's the other thing. When there's love, there's the potential for that to turn to hate, right? Because when people feel passionately about something, and then they don't get it or they can't have it, sometimes it goes the opposite, right? But that's just because of the depth of feeling that is there. So yeah, I'd love to know your experience of this aspect. I'm doing reader requests. If you have anything you'd like me to talk about on a video, I'm doing synastry, I'm doing natal, I'm doing composite aspects. Yeah, and I do offer one-on-one sessions. My links are below. Yeah, thanks for watching. Love you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye.